Andrew Neil is about to find out, now on BBC One.
From across London, people with strong opinions and differing views on how to make life better in our booming capital.
One of my big issues is affordable rent.
Tax on, especially in high earners.
People getting priced out of London.
With just a week to go till polling day, a panel of politicians fighting for every vote. From Labour, Sadiq Khan. The Conservative, Priti Patel. Lib Dem, Simon Hughes. Green Party's Sharar Ali. And UKIP's Richard Hilton. Welcome to Election 2015, a BBC London special. Sorry, we've got a lot to cover here. It's a big city with a lot of big issues. Our next question is from Vicky Penner from Lewisham. It's on the NHS. Vicky.
I was part of a huge campaign that fought very hard to keep vital A&E and maternity units open at Lewisham Hospital. Those vital services saved my son's life. It makes me very angry that David Cameron has broken his promises about the NHS. Who can promise...
Excuse me, be quiet.
Who can promise me on this panel that they will stop forcing through more and more flawed and dangerous A&E closures?
All right, who wants Vicky's vote? Who can promise that? Who can promise it?
Yeah. Look, Vicky, you fought your fight in Lewisham. I had a fight over Guy's Hospital when the Tories wanted to close it, which we won. We then had another fight because Labour wanted to close our casualty, which unfortunately we lost and Labour closed it. We then had probably a more serious fight when Labour wanted to close the Maudsley 24-hour mental health clinic, which they closed, I think, to their eternal disgrace. And the answer to the question
But what's your promise?
No, the promise is that we commit £8 billion a year, funded, not Mickey Mouse money, compared to Labour's £2.5 billion to the National Health Service, which is what the NHS says that they want.
But Vicky's question was not about money. No. Although it involves money. Vicky's question was about who can promise not to close any more hospitals in London and A&E. Now, already under your government, 4 A&Es in London have closed, 5 more are under threat. So let's be clear. Are you promising, Vicky, that no more will happen? None of the 5 under threat will close?
But the decisions should be taken locally, not centrally.
So it's not a promise?
No, I've said the commitment is that it's taken locally and not centrally.
But anybody else
Central government should not be telling you in Lewisham...
Are you going to promise? Well, of course, the Greens can promise, because you know you'll never have anything to do with it.
Well...
Right?
We can promise it because we understand that austerity is about hitting and attacking the most vulnerable. We can afford it. We are a rich country, 7th richest country in the world. We can afford it. We can put our money where our mouth is. It's scandalous, the amount of A&E. The first thing in my own Brent, Central Middlesex, the first thing we know that it's closed is a notice on the door. And Northwick Park is being overwhelmed. I salute those people in Lewisham. I was on the march as well. We need to keep these frontline services open. We can pay for it. We must pay for it. We need to... Politics is about prioritising.
All right.
Politics is about basic needs. So, yes, we promise.
Right, of course. The problem is you never have to cash that promise in, I suspect. Sadiq Khan, what is your promise to Vicky?
So, Vicky, you will know when the Save Lewisham Hospital used the courts to save your hospital. Simon Hughes has been very sanctimonious tonight, and Priti changed the law to stop future communities being able to save their A&Es via judicial review. Precisely. We'd reverse that.
No, that's not.
And what we would do is repeal the Health and Social Care Act. That's been a £3 billion top-down reorganisation that's leading to trusts employing competition lawyers for fear of being sued rather than clinicians.
But is that going to save Vicky's hospital?
Yeah. Andrew, at a time when you've got a rising population in London, it's 8.6 million now, it doesn't make sense to be closing down hospitals, to be closing down A&Es, and to be closing down services.
Well, some of them...
Not does it make sense to have top-down reorganisation that nobody wanted...
And that's why I said
all right, but hold on. Some of them are struggling. because of the massive debts that they're having to pay back under your government's PFI. I mean, can I just give the example? Hold on, can I just give the example of the South London healthcare area? It 61 million pounds of its income, 14% of all it brought in, had to go in servicing PFI debt.
Which
it
Labour
went
introduced.
bust.
Absolutely.
I mean, look, so you can blame PFI deals or GP contracts signed in 2004, but there were 3 leadership debates in 2010. 3. Not one question on the NHS. Why? Waiting queues at an all-time low. Patient satisfaction at an all-time high. Now it's the number one issue because of the changes made by their government.
All right, Priti Patel, what let me put the figures again for London. 4 A&Es already closed in the past 5 years, another 5 under threat. What is the Conservative promise to Vicky?
We're clear in what we will do on the NHS, and we will invest and protect the NHS, and that means we will put more money into the NHS through the Simon Stevens 5-year forward review, because no one can stand still on the NHS. Our populations are growing, our demographics are changing as well, and it's not just in London but across the country. Our health needs are changing too.
Where's it going to come from, the money, Priti?
We've said we will fund £8 billion.
Where's it going to come from?
The plan to fund the plan, and very specifically, at the same time, we will deal with the legacy, the PFI legacy that we inherited in the past.
Where's the money going to come from?
Simon, you know this very well.
No, I don't, because you haven't said, because you haven't
we have been committed throughout. We have been committed throughout our time in
Hold
government.
on, let's see if we get an answer. I'd like to get an answer.
We've invested more in the NHS, in government, than any other previous government has. And also, we will commit another £8 billion through the fact that our economy is growing and our economy is expanding.
Andrew.
You can only have a strong NHS with a strong economy. Everything is pinned around the economy.
All right.
Simon, can I ask?
I hope we're going to have to move on. We've got another topic to cover, but I hope when this debate is over, you'll all tell me where you keep this magic money tree that is hidden. Let's come to Nishal Patel, a tax consultant from Chiswick.
Good evening. London